Hi, guys. I'm so excited to have you back on my podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the 5 steps to invest in real estate in Dominican Republic. I'm your host, Jorien van der Meij, and this is the Dominican Dream Home podcast. So today's episode is about the 5 steps to invest in real estate in Dominican Republic. And I have made a guide on this topic because I would like to guide people to make the decision easier for them to buy real estate in Dominican Republic, because it's a big decision. It's a life-changing decision for some people. And I think that it's important to investigate very well what it means to buy a property in Dominican Republic. So I have created these 5 steps that everybody should go through before buying a property. And step 1, I'm going to explain you right now, is of course get enthusiastic about Dominican Republic. So what do I mean by get enthusiastic? I mean, Jorien, what's not to get enthusiastic about? There's beaches, the sun is shining all day, there's good food, there's rum, there's Presidente beer. Dominican people are really nice, but that are not necessarily things to consider, but it's not like determined factors when you're thinking about buying a property. So I think that there are many places where you could buy a property, but I think Dominican Republic is one to really consider because it has a very good economic stable growth. The economic growth from January to August 2024 was 5.1%. This is coming from different industries. We see a very big growth in the tourism industry. For example, from January to August, there were 7.7 million tourists on the island, which is pretty much for a population of 10 million, which the Dominicans are 10 million. It keeps growing. We saw visitors of 10 million in 2023, January to December, and now we see January to August is already 7.7 million. So we see if this is going to be rising like this until December, which we expect it is, because November and December is high season here in Dominican Republic. The most people are visiting our country from November to, let's say, March, April. So we expect to really end up above these 10 million and have a lot of visitors in the 2024. And of course, we see that people are preparing to have even more visitors in 2025, 26. So this means that it's a good place to invest because the economy is growing. People are finding their way to Dominican Republic for their vacation, which means that your property is probably going to have a good rental occupancy rate. It's a strategic location. I mean, we have flights from New York, direct flights from Miami, direct flights from most of the big cities in the United States have direct flights to Dominican Republic. So when you're in winter in New York and you take a plane for about 4 hours, you will be in this beautiful sunshine country on the beach, which is great for a weekend getaway. So it's very easy to get here. Also from Europe, there are a lot of flights coming in from Europe, from Italy. There are a lot of direct flights. There are direct flights from Amsterdam, from Madrid. There are 2 direct flights a day, which are only about 8-hour flights. And because I'm Dutch, I have taken those flights a lot. And they're convenient, they're comfortable. When you go from Dominican Republic to Europe, you're usually flying during the night. So you sleep in a plane and then you arrive in the morning, so you don't lose that much time. So it's a strategic location, which has a lot of direct flights. Punta Cana International Airport is a very big hub and a very big airport where a lot of international flights are coming, as well as Santo Domingo Airport as well. So that about step 1, get enthusiastic. I hope I got you a little bit enthusiastic about buying a property. So let's go to step 2, which is investigate obstacles. And it's always important to think like, okay, what would be my obstacle to buy a property? For example, how is the political environment? I know that Latin countries in general don't have a very good reputation, politically speaking, but I have to say that Dominican Republic in the last 4 years has had a very, in my opinion, and that's my opinion, you can have your own opinion, but I think we had a good president, which tries to fight against corruption, who has set a lot of policies and new rules to make the country grow, to get this economic growth of 5.1%. So the political environment is very stable. There's no, how do you say that? Like in that sense, there's nothing to worry about. You can think about infrastructural challenges, the roads. Yeah, I have to say some roads are not good. We have very bad roads here, but we also have very good roads. I mean, the general highways who connect Santo Domingo with La Romana, Punta Cana in this case, is a very, very good highway. It's very safe. There's highway police all around. They have tolls. They ask for tolls, so it's a very good. It has a good infrastructure. In general, you can get everywhere on the island within a couple of hours. And for example, I love to go to the north to Las Terrenas for the weekend, which is a 3.5-hour drive, and the roads are perfect, comfortable. So the infrastructure is good. In some areas, you would have problems with electricity. There are electricity fallouts, blackouts, most areas of the island. But if you are looking for a property, it's something important to take in account. If you're, for example, in a private resort like Casa de Campo or La Estancia, they usually have their own electricity supply, so you don't have blackouts. And if you are buying in, for example, a project with 50, 80, 100 apartments, they have their own electricity supply, or at least they have their own backups. When the electricity fails, you don't have to sleep without a fan or without air conditioning. You would have still electricity without any problems. So I would say investigate obstacles, make your own list of what you would be worried about. I would love to hear also your obstacles. What are your main concerns about buying a property in Dominican Republic? We can discuss them in a call. You can call me, you can send me a message, and we can talk about it. Like I said in my previous podcast, I have more than 10 years living here, so I know about the country and I know about what it means as a European person to move to Dominican Republic and to live here. So I definitely could give you some answers and advice on that. So then I would like to discuss number 3. Step number 3, choose your location. I know that Punta Cana is a very popular location. It's very well known. It's very well known around the world. Some people don't even know what is Dominican Republic, and they know what is Punta Cana. They think that Punta Cana is the country, but no. Dominican Republic is the country. The capital is Santo Domingo. Punta Cana is basically a resort area, which is beautiful. It has white sand beaches, blue seas, palm trees all around. It's really nice. But the thing with Punta Cana is that it is a little bit saturated in terms of tourism buildings. So, which is good, because in one point you know that if you buy a property in Punta Cana, you will probably rent it out very well. But I would definitely look into some other options like Casa de Campo. Casa de Campo is a luxury exclusive resort on the south coast of Dominican Republic. A lot of people have second houses here. There is a hotel. The resort has a lot of amenities. It's right on the beach. It has its own private beach. It even has its own private little town, which is copied from an old Italian town, which is called Chabon. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's really nice. They have beautiful restaurants with views over the Chabon River. It's just like a very, very nice place to be. Then there's La Estancia, which is across the road from Casa de Campo. La Estancia is an upcoming golf resort, which also means that you still have a lot of lots and apartments available for good prices with golf view. So if you are a golfer and you love to golf, or you just love to be in a beautiful landscaped resort, Estancia is definitely something you could consider. Then we have Dominicus and Valladolid. Valladolid is really, I know that in a lot of like magazines they say like, oh, this beautiful picturesque town, fisherman's town, but that's what Valladolid really is. It's a very picturesque fisherman's town, but it's changing. They're building more and more apartment buildings in Valladolid, but the tourism is very upcoming in Meij, so which means that you still could buy a property on walking distance to the beach for a very affordable price in an area where it's not like super overflown with tourists. Also, Dominicus is kind of the same. Dominicus has a nice boulevard where you can walk around, you can have an ice cream, have a coffee, buy some local handcrafted jewelry or some clothes or a sunscreen if you forgot your sunscreen. But Dominicus Valle is still very authentic. So it's a very authentic Dominican place. So also one of the good things about Valladolid Dominicus is that it has the highest occupancy rate of the country. It has an 80% occupancy rate, while Punta Cana has a 77% occupancy rate, which is also a very important number when you're looking to buy an investment property. So definitely Dominicus Valladolid is a very important very important location to consider when investing in Dominican Republic. Okay, so that brings me to step number 4, contact an expert in the real estate market. So that's where I come in, the expert in the real estate market. Because first of all, it's important to find somebody who speaks the language, who knows their way around on the island, because there is still a lot of corruption and there is still a lot of people, because the real estate market is booming so much. There is a lot of people who became developers but not necessarily have the background of a developer. So what I do is I work with developers that I know and that have a good portfolio, that have a background check, or that are working with a trust. There are some developers here on some projects that are working with trusts, which are also very good to consider when you're buying a property. So that's why it's very important to find an expert and to find somebody who knows what they're talking about. So I would love to say that I consider myself an expert in the field with my more than 10 years experience here on the island, living here in this area for the last actually when I arrived, which was in 2013, I arrived to the island. I live here in Casa, Campo, so I know my way around and I know the people. I know most of the developers that are developing projects in the area. So if you have any questions or any doubts, please contact me. The other good thing about finding an expert is that if you're looking to buy a property, finding an expert or a person that guides you in the process of buying a property for you as a property buyer, is free. You don't have to pay for the expert. In general, the owners of the properties are paying the commission fees to the real estate agents. So you can find anyone that you like, that you feel comfortable with, that you have a connection with. It's important to have a good connection because it's an important decision. Like I said before, it's an important investment. So it's important that you have a bond of trust with your real estate advisor. So then step number 5, I forget an important part in step number 4 is the advisor also can give you advice on the process. So, okay, what's the process? So you're buying a property. What do I have to do? Do I have to pay a 10% down payment fee? Do I have to pay a reservation fee in case of new construction? What will be the payment plan? Can I get a financing? There's a lot of options for foreigners, especially from United States and Canada, to get a financing here in Dominican Republic with the Dominican banks. So those are all things to take in consideration to ask your real estate advisor to help you with, which can make your property purchase be more comfortable and make the process smooth. So number 5, the last step, enjoy your property, enjoy, because it's so nice here. It's like I would swear, I think that anybody who buys a property here as a second home in the final ends up spending most of the year, especially most of the winter here. We have a lot of people from the United States that are coming here in November and they leave in April. So they're spending the winter here because the winters here are very nice. It's sunny, but not too hot. You can still go to the beach. You can go for a boat ride. You can exercise. You can go for a bike ride. Because especially in these resorts, it's very safe. There are gated communities with security all around, so you can go for a walk without a problem. Also, the areas here, because they're so touristic, the tourism police, which is the police who are taking care of that the tourists are having a good time here. So it's very safe. It's very safe, this area. You can just go for a bike ride or work out, exercise. We have a lot of yoga classes in the area. We have tennis courts. We have golf courses, a lot of beautiful golf courses, award-winning golf courses. We have the beach. We have the islands of Saona and Catalina nearby. Actually, there is a lot of boats departing from Bahia to Saona and Catalina. You can also from Casa Campo, from Anita's beach, take a shuttle to Catalina Island, or you can just rent a boat in La Marina and go by yourself, explore the nearby islands, because they are really beautiful. There are still, how do you say that, unpopulated islands, so there's nobody living there. So they're still very authentic and very nature oriented. Like there's a lot, you feel literally like you're in the middle of nature. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. They have mangrove forests. They have diving sites. If you love to dive, we can do rock climbing. We can do anything you like. And if you buy a property, I can go with you rock climbing, diving, however you prefer, because I love to do all those things. Or I also just love to do a barbecue by the pool, which maybe will be easier. So if you have any more questions, I would recommend you to download my guide. I have made a guide, which is 5 steps to invest in real estate in Dominican Republic. I will put the link in the description of this podcast. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to write me, to call me, or to send me a message. And I hope to see you in the next episode.